Hey guys, Glockster is doing some cooking. We're gonna make some venison jerky. So, the first thing when you go to cook or do any food preparation is wash your freaking hands, wash your knife, make sure your cutlery board is nice and tidy and clean. Alright, clean. Washing your hands is as important as doing a weapons check. So we're going to make some beef jerky. Actually, it's going to be venison jerky. A recipe that I've been using for years and years and years and years. Well, let's say 40 years. Oh my God, I'm 47. Yeah, 40 years of this. So we've got the venison. This is from my whitetail a couple years ago. So first you need venison, soy sauce. The only soy sauce I will use is China Lily. I don't know if it's available outside Canada, but this is the best soy sauce there is. Black pepper, fresh garlic, garlic powder, onion powder, smoked paprika, just a little bit of wild whiskey smoked barbecue seasoning, a little bit of Jamaican style hot curry powder, and a little bit of a Mexican hot spice. Can't read Spanish, so I don't know what the wife brought back. So we're going to get going here. We're going to get some jerky sliced up and we're going to get at her. Okay guys, the one thing with when you're slicing up jerky, it's a lot easier if you leave the meat just slightly frozen, so it gives it a little bit more texture. Now this is not the best piece of meat for beef jerky, I'll tell you that right now. This is just the neck muscle. A lot of times this gets ground up for hamburger. Something like that, that's better. A lot of time this gets ground up for hamburger. So what I'm going to do is just going to separate it out from the ligaments. There's a couple of nice pieces there we can slice up for jerky. Right here there's a really nice piece right in here. So we'll just pull this out. Big thing is make sure you have a nice sharp knife when you're doing this stuff. Okay? This one is moderately sharp. My darling wife doesn't like sharp knives because she says she cuts herself, and I keep trying to explain to her that you have less chance of cutting yourself with a sharp knife than you do with a dull knife. But I'm not going to argue with her. So you can see this meat, part of it's still fairly froze, the larger chunk, so we're just going to pop that in here. So what you want to do now is just separate this out again. Now there's a couple ways. You can get all fiddly-farty and fussy around and separate all the ligaments out and all that kind of stuff and blah 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 and take forever to get your meat ready. But you know what? It's beef jerky. If you get a few little ligaments in there, you can chew them up and spit them out. So I like to cut them up about that size. That's the size I like to go. And then sometimes you just go with the grain. This is pretty free form. It's not. I've said this about a few other things, but not rocket science. You don't have to get all really fancy with it. Now something like this, you can see how long this ligament is. I don't know if it's a ligament or whatever it is, connective tissue. Let's get rid of these because these aren't fun to try and chew through. So we'll get rid of these. So you can get an idea of that's, just get your meat, get the preparation. Basically like cooking any kind of wild game. You want to get rid of the connective tissues and the fat and that kind of stuff. Mind you, of course, something like that, it's not going to be a big deal because we're slicing across the grain. So you're just going to have a little bit of it on the edge. You can power through that and chew through that, no problem. So when you get down to a long skinny piece like that, just butterfly it open and bang, there's some more. Alright, I'm going to get the rest of this meat processed up and sliced up, ready to roll, and then we'll do some spices on it. So you can see this piece is froze up fairly well. So you'll see it's a lot easier to slice if it's semi-froze. Okay? And some nice thin pieces of venison there. And so the pieces that are thawed right out, a little more difficult to get a good handle on cutting them. So if you want to take them out of the freezer for just maybe 5 or 6 hours, pop them in the fridge until they're still firm to the touch, you'll get a really nice cut on your venison. So that's why you want to leave it slightly frozen. It's so much easier to cut. Now this buck here that I shot here 2 seasons ago, I got skunked last year, I didn't really get out that much. This fellow, green scored his antlers at 182. I'm not a real big trophy hunter, but that was the biggest buck I've ever shot in my life. 35 yards, heart-lung shot with a .358 Winchester of a Ruger Model 77, one of the newer ones, with a 225 grain Barnes triple shock. That bullet punched through both lungs, and basically I had lung soup left. And I cut in some pictures of it, but yeah, I had about half a dozen shots of it on the ground. Probably 30 or 40 shots of this buck on my old computer, and I didn't back it up, and I lost 3,000 pictures on my old computer. So unfortunately, all the shots of that beautiful buck were no longer there. Like that's a chunk of his neck. That's neck meat. So you can see how coming around the side like this. So you can see how big that friggin' buck was. Right in the middle of the rut. It was about, I don't know. It's fairly warm out. It was late November, but we had a really nice warm fall. So right in the middle of the rut, and this buck is some of the best meat I've ever had ever. This little package here is from one of the does that I shot, supplemental doe tag. This buck is actually better tasting than the doe, surprisingly enough. So we'll finish up these little bits. You can see how much meat I've got ready to go there. She's going to be a big batch of jerky. We'll have both dehydrators going, and let's finish this up. All right, this is a big this is a good set of jerky here. This is a good batch of jerky. So we'll break it down into 2 separate containers. Now when you're marinating the jerky, please don't use metal. Don't use aluminum. Stainless steel is okay, but just plastic bowls are the best, because if you use metal or aluminum or anything like that, you can get a little bit of funky flavor imparted into the meat. So it's very, very important just to use a plain old plastic bowl for this. Alright, I like to put on all the dry rub first. I've used everything from wet to dry rubs, and I found that this recipe is my favorite. So we'll start with some onion powder. A little bit of garlic powder. The garlic powder will go on again after. Just go light on the garlic powder. Remember, dried spices don't have nearly as much flavor as fresh stuff does. Go easy on the salty stuff, because the soy sauce has a lot of salt in it. And my son loves beef jerky, but he doesn't like really hot jerky, so I go fairly easy on the curry sauce, the curry powder, and any of the hot stuff. This is just to give it a nice little bit of a zip. And pepper. Now the one item that I'm missing here, I forgot to pick up, is the brown sugar. So we'll just rock some regular white sugar on it. Now I've done the, like I said, I've done the beef jerky where you're just using a dry rub on it, and I don't like it. Some guys swear by it. Okay, this is just a little bit of East Indian red chili powder, so we're just going to go very light with this. Just for flavoring. Alrighty, now let's see if we can find some white sugar. Alright, brown sugar works better than white sugar. Brown sugar, of course, has a little higher molasses content, and it breaks down in the liquid a little easier. You can also use a little bit of Morton's Tender Quick as well. That works as, you know, a curing salt. Alright, it's all of our dry stuff. Now then, let's get our fluids in there, or fluids with the wet marinade. That's going to consist of a couple of lemons. Don't worry about the seeds, because you know what? They'll fall off anyway. I'll give it a good shot with lemon. Now, once in mind that my hands are clean, so. And of course, if you're doing this for other people, this is just going to be home consumption. You want to be a little bit more diligent with that. So basically, 1 lemon per bowl. Yeah, I'm not going to get a shot at the Food Network, but what the hell. And as you can see, there's tons of seeds in there, but those will come off after you throw them in the dehydrator. And you're not going to be, it's not like you're going to be accidentally eating lemon seeds. Alright, now for the really good stuff. This is about the only time I ever use a garlic press when I'm doing this, because you want the garlic really fine for this. Okay? Well, this is all going to get mixed up, so I'm going to go about 3 cloves of garlic per serving here. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Let's clean the press out and get all the rest of the good stuff in here. Doesn't really matter about the fibrous parts. It's just going to add to the flavor anyway. Couple more in here. It's all broken out. Your hands are going to reek for days of garlic now, but oh well. There's worse things that can happen. Alright. Now, the most important part of this whole process. China Lily soy sauce. Made by Lee's Food Product Limited, Toronto, Ontario. I've tried Kikkoman, I've tried all the rest of them. This is the best. You can see how rich it is and thick. Just adds an amazing taste. Not cheap. It's a very expensive soy sauce. But who cares? Your jerky's worth it. Now, this stuff wasn't available for probably a good year. Now, this may be incorrect, but my understanding was that it was Grandpa Lee had the recipe, one of those family secret recipes, and he passed away without letting everyone know exactly what was in it. So we didn't have China Lily for about a year. It wasn't available until the rest of the family figured out what the recipe was, and it's just as good as it used to be. You can see how rich and black that is. Just going to impart an incredible flavor to the beef jerky here. Alright, so let's pitch those. Now there's a couple things you can do. You can get right in there with your hands but the only problem with that is that it's going to stain. It's going to stain your hands. The soy sauce is going to literally turn your hands black. So you want to give this a good stir. Get all those flavors marinated up. Now I like to let this sit for at least 24 hours. So we'll put these on the dehydrator tomorrow morning and get them going. And it may sound really disgusting, but one of my favorite things, most favorite things in the world is after these have sat for about 24 hours, raw venison in that sauce is just amazing. I love it. My wife thinks it's just disgusting, but there we are, guys. There's the basis of the jerky. We'll get her on the dehydrator tomorrow and we'll rock this out. Later, guys. Okay, I got this all mixed up. I can't resist. Let's try a little bit of this here. All right. Might need a little bit more sugar. Okay, there she is. Let's see how she tastes. My goodness, I really need a hair. I need a shave. Oh my gosh, that was good. Got a little bit heavy on the hot stuff. Wow, is that ever good? Gonna need a little bit more sugar, I think. So let's get the sugar on here. That's amazing. Wow, is that ever good? All right, we'll give another mix up, and next time you see this jerky, it'll be going on the dehydrator. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, guys, the jerky's been marinating here for close to 24 hours. So let's load her up. Try and keep all the pieces on each tray all the same sized ones. Oh my god, that's good. Now you're probably thinking, oh my god, Glockster's lost it, he's eating raw meat. This is really good. I don't mean a little bit good, I mean really good. It was a little, I was afraid it got a little spicy. I added a little bit more soy sauce in it, last night. And it's just got a tiny little bit of a bite. Just a little warming of the back of your mouth. Afterwards, it's spectacular. This should be a good batch of jerky. Big batch of jerky. You're gonna have two full dehydrators going. So you want to pack it fairly tight. These will probably be on for 16, 18, 20 hours. I like my jerky really well done. Then get it really nice and really well done. And then throw it in a plastic bag for a day and it softens back up, and it's magnificent. Blowing my own horn on my jerky, but I make good jerky. I grew up making it. My mom always used to put it in the oven and douse it in lemon juice and garlic powder as it sat in the oven for 5, 6, 8 hours. But I like the dehydrator. Dehydrators take a little longer, but you get a pretty darn nice finished product. And of course, you wash your hands with soap and water really, really well before you start loading these up, please, guys. Alright. A few other spots and ends and ends. Alright, so there's these out. We've got half a dozen more to go, and we'll get her all loaded up and get going here. I'll show you the end product. Alright, guys, there we go. We've got 2 batches of jerky going. Figured out what got it so spicy. I put in the fresh garlic and it's got some real kick to it.
And I chowed down on a couple pieces here that have been marinating while they got some zip. Alright, so right now it is probably about 5 p.m. So we'll let this go till about 5 a.m. We'll get up and check it at 6. Now you got to manage your jerky. You just can't say, yeah, everything's going to be done. Some of the thinner stuff will be done sooner than the thick stuff. It's impossible to get it all exactly the same thickness. So what you need to do is come out and manage your jerky as it gets done. Restack it, stack the thick stuff up, take the thin stuff that's cooked off, and manage it and take off as you need it. Otherwise, some will be overdone, some will be underdone. So like I say, you got to take a look at your jerky and manage the stuff now. So yeah, the next batch, next time you'll see this, it's going to be out of the dehydrator and in a bag and getting munched up. Alright guys, thanks for watching. We'll get the finished product here in about 14 hours. Later guys.
Alright guys, here we are. 17 hours. This first batch looks pretty good. It's a lot spicier than I normally would have it. Let's see how much we get out of here. So let me get these two buttoned up and we'll show you the final product. Alright, there you have it guys. A huge batch of jerky. You can see it, so good sized batch. It's kind of crispy right now. Really well done. Why don't you throw these in some Ziploc bags? A couple days they'll soften up and it'll be really nice soft jerky. So anyway, there you have it guys, Venison Jerky. Thanks for watching. Later.